Previously on the Canal Houses series. Canal Houses series is a creativity series where I tackle my most ambitious art project to date. I've been putting it off for a decade, and this video series is my commitment that I'll finish it. So thank you, Weirdos, for being my accountability buddies, but I'm also walking you through all the challenges that I encounter on the way. Episode 3 is where we encounter the shiny object syndrome, because now we've got the momentum going, and also Lazy Brain Intern makes a comeback. So let's dive in. Hey, I'm Casper, I'm your creativity mentor, and this is Creative Demo, a project where we democratize creativity. What does that even mean? That means that I'm teaching you concrete and learnable skills about creativity, because it's a skill that you can learn, not a talent that you're born with. And I believe that we're all creative, and I think you should too. I will leave a link in the description to the playlist of the whole Canal Houses series so you can watch from the start. But essentially, episode 1 was about the origin of the idea behind the Canal Houses. It's a really interesting one. It's also my origin story of how I ended up in Amsterdam. In episode 2, I took a bike ride around Amsterdam looking for the houses to actually draw. Once I found them, I was faced with a dilemma. Do I trace them, which feels a little bit like cheating, or do I draw them from life? I chose to trace just to break the self-doubt and to gain momentum. But now that we've gained momentum, what do we do with it? Because I still kind of owe the whole piece, the creativity part. So there's 11 houses, and my idea is to draw an interest or something close to my heart that's living inside or on top of each house. In Harry Potter terms, it's like putting a Horcrux or a little piece of my soul into each house. So I'm sure it won't be without its own challenges. Let's see what happens in episode 3. The Lazy Brain Intern is back in business, baby. Oh, and you're creating things again? Finally, I never thought you would get out of your rut. Okay, let's start making things then, huh? So listen, I have an endless stream of brand new ideas for you. Just ask me and I'll give it to you, because trust me, they're much more interesting than whatever this houses thing you've been stretching out for months now. That way, you'll still be under the impression that you're doing good, that you're on a roll, that you're creative or whatever, and I'll still win because I'm just so done with this idea. I'm bored. What's happening right now, is what we call shiny object syndrome, and most creatives suffer from it. That's the reason why we have so many started projects, but not many actually finished. Every time we get to this stage, right around the halfway point when things get a little bit challenging, the Lazy Brain Intern starts rationalizing why it's actually an amazing idea to start a new project, and it gives you really good ideas, rather than to finish this one because this feels hard. Don't listen to him. What? Last time you were complaining that my ideas were basic, and now I come with real ones and you're still not happy. Talk about hard to please. Haha, nice try. I know what you're doing and it won't work. I have a straightforward fix. It's not easy, but it's very doable if you follow these steps. So first, I recognize what's happening and I give it a name. I say it out loud. Okay, I'm experiencing shiny object syndrome now. Or I even point the finger at you and say, the Lazy Brain Intern is at it again. Still, I'll help myself to these ideas because I know you're trying really hard right now, and honestly, these ideas are pure gold. But I'm still not falling for it because I'm using the same muscle of self-control, the same one that I need to use on myself when I need to stop doom scrolling, couch rotting, or just any type of unhealthy binge. And I'm using this opportunity as a good moment to exercise my willpower and making that muscle stronger. What helps me power through this is to focus on the long term. So I'm trying to picture myself that I'll feel great when the project is done, instead of going for a new one and knowing that this is the way to get to there, to the finish line. So I'm keeping at it, and just remember to treat yourself very kindly, not this unhealthy dynamic that I have with the Lazy Brain Intern. This is just for the sketch. Where we left off with episode 2 is that there was the whole dilemma whether I should trace the houses or should I draw them from life? I chose to draw the houses because I decided that drawing them realistically is not the creativity challenge of this piece, but actually what we put inside and on top of the houses, that is where I'll show my creativity, and basically that's where we got in episode 3. Every house represents one of my interests or things that I love. Let's look at the houses from left to right. First house is where all my friends live. I want to have them close to me, or at least wherever my iPad is. The house 2 and 3, we get into this party territory. House number 2 is the Halloween house, and the house number 3 is the Pride and Camp house. I love the little flamingo at the entrance and the big speakers on top. Then we get to the Boy Genius part with my favorite, all-time favorite series called Dark. It's all about time travel, so that's house number 4. And house number 5 is very close to it, Dexter's Lab, my favorite cartoon. Then we get to my actual house. I've placed it in the middle. I also love baking, so there will be a house made of cookies and cake, very Hansel and Gretel style. Next to it is a house with a hot air balloon taking off from the roof. That's a thing I did this year and I absolutely loved. I also can't believe I've come this far without mentioning Harry Potter yet. Now is the time. I'm not doing a full-on Harry Potter house, but I'm narrowing it down to very specifically 12 Grimmauld Place, which is Sirius's house. You know, the one in the movie that kind of slides out from all the other ones. I'm also originally Croatian, so there will be a Croatian house, second to last. And the last house that's right underneath the camera of the iPad is going to be the photography or the YouTube studio house, because that's also been one of my big hobbies and passions since forever. My favorite thing about this drawing is the little twist that's revealed in the reflections in the water. So the water is basically everything below the little crease in the iPad case. And the magical interests, that extra things that we've added, will be in the main part of the case, but the reflections show just ordinary houses without all these things added. And they actually reveal that they show the reality, and everything above that we think is reality is actually just a dream. So I'm quite proud of that. But apart from feeling proud, let's do a full feelings check-in, how I feel. I still feel a bit overwhelmed and scared and a little bit anxious, because basically this part was the thing that I was fearing the most. Oh, will I have enough ideas? Will I know or have the skills to actually draw all these specific things like human figures and big speakers and gravestones? So far so good in the sketch, so that's giving me hope. I'm also thinking to myself, did I bite off more than I can chew? Because suddenly there's 11 houses to draw ideas for, and this is typical Casper, that I'm always ballooning my projects instead of just, going for 4 houses and calling it a day. But oh well, it is what it is. We are here and we are chugging along. I'm very happy with the progress in terms of how much I've sketched. It's taking longer than I expected, so I'm happy to release this episode 3 with as far as I get, and then we'll pick it up in episode 4. And speaking of episode 4 of the Canal Houses series, I'll need your help for this one. First time I'm asking you for actual input. The thing is, I'll finish the sketch by then and we'll start with the digital painting part, and I see it going in 2 directions. Direction 1 can be we give a lot of color and detail both to the things on top of the houses and the houses themselves. Pros of that approach are that the whole piece will be much richer, but the things on top, so the interests, won't stand out as much. Which brings me to option number 2. Option number 2 is to leave the houses more or less in this sketchy vibe, or at least as outlines. So that will allow the whole thing to be still kind of whitish, because the iPad case is still white, and the things on top, the interests, will stand out more. I see both things working, so I will let you decide in the poll. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, then go to the posts tab on Creative Demo, and there will be a poll where you can give your inputs. And if you're seeing this on social media, then somewhere here on your screen you'll see the poll. So let me know what you think will look better. So that gives you a really good reason to subscribe to the Creative Demo YouTube channel if you haven't already, because when you give your inputs, you kind of feel invested. You want to see if we choose the option that you go for or did we choose the other one. It will be revealed in episode 4, so subscribe so you don't miss it. See you there.